Hello everyone. Today geographical definition part 3. The number one definition is dot method in geography. It is a method used in preparing distributional maps. In this method, data obtained through the counting is used, like population, cattle count, etc. While preparing such maps, factors which affect the distribution of an element, like physiography of a region, transportation, routes, river system, etc., are portrayed, have to be taken into consideration. Now, the downward movement of the earth crust going at a lower level, the movement of the material taking place in a downward direction. Such type of movements occur in the interior of the earth. The drumlin are hills formed due to the deposition of moraines in glaciers. They are generally egg shaped. If there are many hills of this type of a region in a region, then such regions is called egg basket. The erosion, weathering away of rocks by different agents. The rocks are eroded continuously by the wind, rivers, glaciers, and the sea waves and groundwater. These are the natural agents. The wearing takes place mainly because of the kinetic energy generated during the movement of the agents. Kinetic energy is depends on the mass and the velocity of the moving material. The escarres, narrow and long winding ridges produced through the deposition of moraines are known as escarres, and exfoliation is the mechanical weathering taking place due to the peeling away of the outer layers of rock. Rocks get heated due to the sun's heat. Granular tension develops in the rock because of the alternate contraction and expansion of the mineral in rock. The upper outer layer of the rock gets affected the most, so the successive layers come out with time. The fault because of the interior movement of the earth, the rocks undergo tension and develop fractures. Such fractures are called faults. Faults can also develop when due to extreme pressure in folding, as folds are break in earth's interior. The flood levees or flood plains, the landforms formed due to the depositional work of the rivers. When the level of water in the river channel increases, it overflows and water spreads to nearby areas. This is called flooding. When the river is flooding, a large amount of sediment comes out with the flow. Heavy sediments are found towards the bottom of the layer of the river, while suspended particles are scattered all over. Suspended sediments gets deposited to the places where the flood water reaches perpendicular to the flow over the river. This region is called the flood plain. The cross sediments carried by the flood water gets deposited at the banks, and as continuous process of the deposition occurs at the bank, its level increases. Levees parallel to the river flow are formed closer to the bank. These are called flood levees. The next one is folding. Due to the movement of the occurring in the mantle of the earth, the crust faces pressure and gets folded. This process is called folding. Frost in precipitation, particles of snow formed from the sublimation of water vapor at the surface. These are seen on the plant leaves, window panes, etc. The frostbites, freezing of skin and its upper tissues because of very cold temperature. Tourists going to snow-covered region face the frostbite many a time. Generally, it affects the hands, legs, and skin of the face. Severe frostbites can affect skin tissues and can even reach to the bones. The next one is gorge. Deep and narrow valley. The slopes of the gorge are steep and almost vertical. Granular weathering, weathering of the rock particles by breaking into granules, especially in the rocks like sandstone conglomerate. When the cementing material weakens and the joint particles become loose and come off. Gravitational force, an object which has mass attracts other objects having mass. This force or attraction, this is called gravitational force. The object which has more mass has more force. Gravitational force is dependent upon the masses of the object and the distance between them. Next one is hamada. Hamada are the landform found in the desert regions. They are mainly in the form of tall, dry, rocky plateaus in desert region. Because of the sand has been carried away in the process of transportation, there is a less sand of them, and mainly pebbles are found on the plateaus due to the erosional work of the wind. The next one is the hanging valley. Hanging valley landform produced due to the erosional work of the glaciers. The amount of snow in a tributary glacier is less compared to the main glacier. Consequently, erosion happened at the lower scale. In the main glacier, snow is accumulated to the full height in its bed. When the tributary glaciers meet, the height of the snow is the same rather than the height of their beds. The bottom of the tributary glacier is at the higher level than the bottom of the main glaciers. When the snow melts, the difference in height and their base becomes visible. The valley of the tributary glaciers is higher and appears like the hanging over the valley of the main one. Therefore, such a valley is called hanging valley. The horizon, the line whether the sky and the land appear to meet. When the celestial bodies like sun and the moon appear on this line, it is said that they have risen, and when they disappear, it is said that they have set. The next one is hydraulic, related to liquid erosion and caused due to the pressure of liquid. Such erosion can be seen by the waves in the coastal areas. Wave rises up at the rocky coast. The air in the deeper part gets trapped. When the waves break and hits the rock, the trapped air is freed in explosive manner. Tremendous energy is released in this process, and they wears away the rock of its base. The international date line, an imaginary line which approximately follows the 180-degree meridian. Travelers have to change the date and time while crossing the international date line while traveling to east, going from Asia to Australia to the continents of America. The last day and date is accepted. The ongoing date is carried forwarded. But while traveling from America continents towards Asia, Australia, towards the west, travelers need to add one day, take the next day and date. The line goes completely through the ocean because to avoid the land masses, to avoid the land masses to its main continents, so that there will be same date followed by the same continent. Up to this today's video, and more definitions I will give you in my next videos. Thank you.